Let's play a little game. And the game is called word association. I'll say a word and you respond by saying the first word that comes to your mind. Okay, let's get started. Hot. Happy. Right. And good. And that's why Jesus had to come down from heaven that first Christmas morning. Let me explain. Let's start with angels. Let's get to know a little more about them. Angels don't fall under the blood of Christ for forgiveness. Angels are programmed. They're created with knowledge, duty, and a love for God. If an angel goes astray, it's broken by its own choice. Now, man, on the other hand, is created in an opposite fashion. We were born without any knowledge or sense of duty or love for God. We're born, we grow, we learn who God is, and we make a decision to love, follow, and obey Him through a thing called faith, that He is, unlike the angels who see that He is. If we go astray, we're broken in so much that our relationship becomes broken, but that can be mended and healed through the precious blood that Jesus shed. You see, God comes to man and offers Himself as a bridge into heaven. Man either chooses to trust God when He says He's the only bridge, or he goes off and he tries to find his own way in. If man dies while trying to find that other way into heaven, then obviously he's not in heaven. But for those who choose to walk across the bridge when God offers, obviously then those people get into heaven. The Bible says that when we're saved, our names get written into the book of life. So in that, even though we're still here on earth, we've gone to heaven. In a way, I already live in heaven since my name is written there. I've become a visitor here on earth since I'm a citizen of heaven. I kind of own property there because now I'm a joint heir with Christ. And those who don't take advantage of God's offer at the time it's presented may not ever get a second opportunity. You see, each of you is being given that opportunity today, right now, in so much that it's being laid out for you. Now that we've broken down a few important differences between angels and men, let's move on. God desires to spend time with a creation that makes an informed and experiential decision to love Him. I come to God because I know how empty I feel when I'm astray. I choose God, and God likes that. God can trust what I've decided because I've already lived in sin and I made a conscious and an informed decision to choose God. That has value to God. He likes that. Let's get back to our word association game. Goodness. Now, if you thought of some form of the word evil or bad, then you're right on target. You see, God wanted to create a place for His new creation, His children, we would love. And as He's creating, Lucifer is right there watching and listening. First, there's no form, there's chaos, and God speaks the opposite thing, and all of a sudden, there's form and order. There was darkness, and God speaks into creation light. And there's water, and God creates land. Lucifer must have seen a word association game of sorts going on. Chaos, order, dark, light, wet, dry. So then God said, "It is good." And what do you think Lucifer thought? Now, the stage was set, but Lucifer didn't have to choose disobedience. However, he did so because he was filled with emotions and thoughts that destroyed him. He chose to be broken when he doubted God's plan and questioned God's desires. He questioned God's plan for his life. And so he was broken without redemption. Lucifer became Satan when he planned to show God that he was wrong and that man could never satisfy desires the way the angels could. See, when God told everyone in heaven that for a time this new creation would be beneath the angels, and that after that time and for all eternity man would be above the angels, Lucifer chose to become jealous of man and angry at God. He plotted to show God that man wasn't worth the effort and that man was just going to be a disappointment. So he convinced 1/3 of all the angels to go with him to destroy God's love for man. Now, what he didn't know was that God already had a contingency plan, insomuch that he'd already decided to come to earth in flesh and blood to live a life that could atone and repair for the damage that Satan was going to do. As soon as Lucifer became Satan, he was the embodiment of evil. And this was useful to God, because now evil wasn't just an idea that could pop up at any time. It could be chained and imprisoned and kept out of heaven and earth for all eternity. Today, we have two sides at war, and man is in the middle to choose which side he'll fight on. If you choose to fight with Christ, you'll actually never have to fight. Jesus is more than enough to defeat Satan and his followers all by himself. Now, if you choose Satan, then you choose to be left here on earth after Jesus takes his followers up to safety. And you'll have your part in a very bloody and painful battle with very little chance of getting into heaven. You see, Christmas is all about God finishing his creation, all about calling his children to himself, all about being able to walk with us and talk with us in a very different way than with his angels. God desires communication, a sharing of ideas born out of experience and consequence and reason. And he can only get that with you and me. Now, if you're not sure if your name is written in the book of life, and you desire to walk across that bridge today, it's the easiest thing you could ever imagine to do. Just go to God in the quietness of your heart and ask him in. Ask him to come into your life. Tell him that you want to trade in your will for his will and live the rest of your life for him and in him. And he'll do it. He'll write your name in the book of life, and you'll be saved from the fires of hell and dedicated to Jesus forever.